Hi Nia, how are you?
Good, yeah. How you doing?
I'm good.
So finally, we've got you on board on Instagram for a live
Yeah,
chat. Thank you so
finally.
much. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay,
Thanks for
so
inviting.
thank you. So Divya, a big applaud firstly, for the instrumental role you guys have been playing, in terms of supporting the migrants, the underprivileged women and children. Not just the government, understands this thing, but many research organizations, social organizations, we are in complete sync of understanding that the NGOs have played an instrumental role. So, if you can just take us through, your NGO, the kind of work you guys are doing. You guys are doing a tremendous job, and you're doing a fabulous job. So, if you can just take us through that.
Okay. So I am representing Donate NR. So Donate NR is a group of volunteers which started 5 years back. So primarily this Donate NR journey started when I was looking for something to work or give my time for betterment of society while I am still in my job. So
Mm-hmm.
then uh, I tried, but it didn't work out with other organizations. So finally, along with my wife Meenakshi and I, we started working with kids, and they started teaching them. Gradually, from
Mm-hmm.
there, number of kids started growing. We started getting more and more volunteers. So in 5 years now, Donate an hour in Gurgaon, we teach at 10 different places. We do in the we are in multi working. So in primarily in education, we teach
Mm-hmm.
roughly 400 to 500 students on weekends, barring this COVID
Okay.
time. Obviously, yeah, activities are restricted. We are working
Uh-huh.
in villages on a smart class project as well as on sanitation and garbage management. We are also working on solar light projects in the Bath. So uh,
Mhm. So Divya, I was really curious to know about your different programs. I read about the Explorer Academy, couple of other programs also, under which you guys enroll your kids. So if you could just, throw some light on those programs and how people can apply for it and, join you guys or.
Yeah. So in education, primarily we have three programs. So one is the Uthan, where we teach underprivileged kids on weekdays and weekends in
Mhm.
the near to the slums and open spaces, parks. So
Okay.
we are running this program, and we realized after teaching kids for 3 years that there are many kids who have a lot of potential, but
Mhm.
unfortunately that potential is not getting materialized in substandard schools, or after some time they do not even go to the schools. So for to help
Mhm.
such kids, we started picking those kids or bright kids from various our centers, and I started Explorer Academy. It's a day boarding school
Okay.
for underprivileged kids. So right now we
All
have 45 students with them. So these kids, they study with me full time. So it's a school starts at 8:30 and it goes till 5 o'clock. So it's
right. Okay.
and the kids spend all the time here, and we try
Mm-hmm.
to
You
provide
have
the
a
best
dedicated
possible.
team of. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these this Explorer Academy, we have teachers with me. Obviously, I pay a small reimbursement or remuneration to them, but it is not
Mm-hmm.
as per their qualifications. All the people who work with me, they are MBAs, MTech, or maybe a professional
Correct.
background,
That's
some
their
XYZ
passion to work
reasons.
in this sector, That's the
Yeah,
reason why they have joined you
yeah.
guys.
So yes, so that
Mm-hmm.
is the primary reason, and with them, because see, having a trained teacher, nothing against trained teachers, but especially when you're working with these kids, you require a passion also, because your job, your work is
Absolutely.
not only to teach them, but counsel them, support them, handhold them, discuss their family issues, help them with their
Mm-hmm.
so many social challenges which they face, and so you require a different mindset to work with these kids.
Absolutely. I
So
totally agree with that. And I remember when I shared this idea, of supporting people at NGOs and probably hand holding them, my family, started asking me that, okay, so you are an MBA, you already have so much of experience in the corporate sector. Why don't you want to continue, in that particular sector rather than entering the impact sector? So, you need to have that empathy, you need to have that passion to understand the children and that urge to spend time with them. So
yes.
probably, that thing counts much more as compared to a teacher credentials. So
Yes. And my,
yeah,
my father still asked me when 2 years back when I left my job, and I was heading IT in Vodafone and one of the circles. And when I left my job and I started teaching these kids full time, he still asked me, when are you going to join your job back?
join
But I said,
back.
"Okay, I don't, I don't have
I
any
can
such
totally
plans.
understand that.
I don't have such plans. I'm enjoying my journey with the kids and
Yeah,
every,
they spend so
uh,
much of time in the IT sector, the family try to convince you why all of a sudden, you want to spend time here. When are you shifting back to the corporate, right? So that is the
yes,
question
yes.
which you guys tend to listen every now and then. So
So,
yeah. So Divya,
well, yes.
hmm. Yeah,
No, no,
so
go on,
I
please.
was I was keen to know that how you guys are using digital tools during this time, in a time like COVID-19, wherein it's so difficult to engage the kids. I remember when I did one of the storytelling session for the kids, I was so
Yeah,
skeptical. When I was conducting that for your NGO, I was so
yeah,
skeptical in terms of usage of words. वो क्वेश्चन आता है ना माइंड में कि बच्चे बच्चे पॉजिटिवली ले या कुछ ऐसे वर्ड आप ना बोल दो कि द चाइल्ड ऑल्सो स्टार्ट्स थिंकिंग कि पता नहीं मुझे पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहिए इन दिस पर्टिकुलर एक्टिविटी नहीं करना चाहिए सो इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गेट द किड्स फर्स्टली टू कन्विंस देयर पेरेंट्स कि बच्चों को एनरोल कराना है एंड देन प्रॉब्ली टू मेंटेन द कंटिन्यूटी सो हाउ यू गाइज आर एंगेजिंग द किड्स ड्यूरिंग दिस टाइम
First, I would like to say that particularly the kids with whom we deal with, they are far, far more resilient than my daughter or probably the kids of like people like us. They are more they are more receptive to the things. They are more open to the things. So many times when we deal with that, obviously one thing which they clearly lack is that missing a mentor or guide or should I say role model in their life to whom they should look to, okay? Because there is no incentive for them to educate. For them,
mm-hmm.
even after a higher education, somebody is just driving auto rickshaw. No offense to auto drivers, but this is how it is. That the whole surrounding, they do not see any value getting added into that.
Correct.
So so first challenge it comes to that changing a parent's mindset that okay, kids should be towards education. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
this COVID scenario has created a tremendous challenge for such kids
For
because
everyone for that matter even
yeah,
for the mainstream schools.
yes, exactly. The challenge is that like it happens in every society, the losers are always at the bottom of the pyramid. And now when
Mm-hmm.
we are talking about COVID-19 in terms of education, definitely losers are those who are at the bottom of the pyramid, especially the kids. Many of the parents have gone back to the villages, and the kids, even when they school, and they don't have any plans to come back to Gurgaon even after 6 to 8 months, because for
Correct.
them going itself is a one task, or maybe we might be seeing that some kids may completely not return. Coming back to your
Mm-hmm.
question regarding the digital use, so see, we have 45 kids with whom we have high stake involved, and these are those kids
Okay.
to whom we handpicked for Explorer Academy. So
Mm-hmm.
for these, and obviously I cannot operate the school as we are closed as of now. So all out of these 45 kids, around 75% kids, 25% kids are still having some troubles and challenges. But for majority of the kids, we are able to connect through digital channels. So
Okay.
we are using Zoom and other video conferencing tools extensively. For some
Okay.
elder classes, we use Google Classrooms as well for assignments and assignment submission and all. And
Okay.
even the teachers who are working with us, we are preparing, but this is a new skill which we have learned.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like for digital payment, the thing which did for demonetization did for digital payment, I believe
Right.
this COVID,
These education apps are doing for the current scenario.
so COVID-19 pushed everything in super fast mode towards digital education. So,
Absolutely.
and this journey definitely was not easy. Many parents, so for some of the kids, we had some tabs and we bought some GeoFi connections. So some of the kids, we gave
Okay.
those connected phones, tabs and GeoFi dongles so that they can connect. Some parents already had a smartphone at home and they were able to support that. So
Right.
for last 4 months, we are running 4, 5, and we have three classes majorly right now. 5, 6, and 7. So we're 2 hours every day. We have Zoom classes which are going on with those kids. Along that side, that teachers are preparing recorded materials which we have posted on YouTube also for general use. Some kids, and obviously this also pushed the digital learning of kids. So I remember that the initial days when we started this, I individually asked kids to come at my place or go into a video call or somehow help them in getting Zoom installed, getting that a sign up and all those things,
Yeah.
and how the
To
video
guide
or
them in that
audio.
context,
Yeah.
how the apps
So
work and whatever
yeah.
technical errors were there.
Exactly. So now the gradually they have they are also learning, and they are also. I never used the simple feature of WhatsApp regarding the voice notes which we record. I used to. I'm a bit in favor of typing and all that, but kids they don't know very good. They are not very good in
They
typing,
learn
so
in
they.
no time, they learn in no time. So that's the best
Yeah.
thing.
Mm. And then they just record the voice messages and communicating through faster than me. So the good thing is that study has not stopped, at least for there are 40 plus kids
For
for
that
whom
bunch.
we are facing in. Yes,
Of course, the
there are.
people who have migrated, it's kind of still
Yes,
a challenge for them, but for this bunch of the Explorer
yes,
Academy, it is kind of in pace.
yes, it is, and
So the curriculum
reasonably
which you
going.
guys, Mhm.
Yeah.
So the curriculum which you guys had made, you are able to finish that in the sense, you are able to just cover it as topic wise. I'm sure, that might have been impacted kind
Yeah,
of during
so
this time.
it is not up to that pace. There are challenges in getting that. Obviously, it cannot be replicated with the class learning. Sometimes the network challenge, sometimes other issues, and sometimes some kids are not able to drop the class, so teachers have to repeat the class. So I would say we are
Mhm.
not at that pace. But in Explorer Academy, we have a bit of a different concept of a different way of teaching. Rather than pushing on to the curriculum aspects, our focus is always towards that the kids should understand the concept with up to the best maximum detail we can provide to them. So
That is
I
better.
was, yeah. So every time when the kids are there, we always work on basics, basics, and basics. So in that
Mhm.
way, uh, we are, I think, reasonably going on with fine.
Mhm.
Going the things which are getting challenged, obviously the notes and other things. Some places kids don't have notebooks to give their complete their work and send it across. Assessment is a challenge. While I'm using
Mhm.
Google, while we have shifted towards Google Forms and all, and uh, we give that test into all the things are being changed into MCQs because rest of the things we cannot give subjective answers and all that in
Correct.
Google Forms. Uh,
Mhm.
or we cannot record that properly. So I would say that still we are on our 80% target, which we thought. So which is fair enough with such a magnitude of the issues which we are facing. And but I
Correct.
think
So I'm sure you
going.
guys are doing a fantastic job in terms of incorporating this. And the response which you're getting from the kids, I think likewise, that's really good. So
Yes. I would say that they eagerly wait for their class.
Mhm.
If you are even 2 minutes
It's a new
late,
method of teaching here. So probably I think
yeah.
they are also learning things in the process they are enjoying.
I remember, so there was a new batch who was supposed to join Explore Academy in class
Okay.
four, and not every kid in the class four, they are the lead, youngest one in normally in their family, and nobody used to give them phone. So
Mhm.
when I was giving them YouTube videos or something to watch, every time they were asking, "Sir, when you will start Zoom classes? When you will start online classes and all that?" And
They were
gradually
really
they.
looking forward to it. कि चलो phone hand में आया and yeah, so we are learning new things.
Yes. So I want to give them a ample break. I want to, as we work in normally in our school also, that the physical interaction, because obviously now everybody is inside, so phones and so many games are there for kids to
Mhm.
play. I read somewhere that earlier we used to say that study and keep a phone away. Now school is inside the phone, and everybody
Yeah,
is giving you
exactly.
phone to study. It's a real thing
Absolutely.
which is happening.
My kids are also doing their classes online and they are so excited, they are learning new things and they are enjoying this phase that, okay, we are finally getting a hang of the laptop and the mobile phones.
Mobile phone. So yeah, obviously every good thing comes with some. There are always pros and cons to that, and I believe that kids will also pass through. I think the next set of challenge which we are going to face as a Explore Academy, as a Donate and our, uh, right now this lockdown is slowly getting over, and the parents will also be joining the work or wherever they will also be moving. Till now it was a kind of a house arrest, so that
Correct.
the phones were available for them, for kids to study. When the
Mm-hmm.
parents will go for their jobs, then the challenge will come that okay, how kids will be able to get the hold
To
of phone.
communicate with you
Yeah,
guys.
the communicate. We'll see. Will we figure out some way when the challenge will come? Maybe the class timings
Mhm.
will shift to early morning and late evening, or we are
I'm
planning
sure
to
you guys
start.
must be working around it because now the lockdown is about to get over. So all of us, in a sense, we want the lockdown to get over. So the
Yes,
migrant
exactly.
families, the people who have moved to their hometowns, they are about to come back. So on the
Hmm.
education front, it will be kind of difficult for you guys how the children will communicate, if they aren't able to come for the classes in person. So
Yes.
it will be kind of difficult, but I'm sure, slowly, gradually, all of us will get back to the pace. So,
Yeah.
Divya, I also wanted to know about your involvement in the rural projects. I had seen a couple of media coverage that you guys have been taking care of cleanliness projects in rural areas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when you decided, to kind of focus in two domains, so education also you guys are focusing, and cleanliness also, you guys are focusing on that as well. So, what are the projects which you guys have been assisting in the rural areas, and what are your plans for future in that context as well?
Everything goes actually. It's when you work with the society, everything goes hand in hand. So one thing when we were working in education, we realized that the people, the way they are living in, and it was not very hygienic way around. So we started counseling them for their hygiene and all that. By chance, we got opportunity to work in Mewat. uh, Around 2.5 years back, some district administrative people, they approach us and they ask that, "Oh, you guys are doing good job in Gurgaon. Why don't you come to Mewat?" And
Okay.
many people who are coming, who are joining us from far and net. So if you would search on that, it is not very famous area near Gurgaon. Is a considered very backward district comparative to even closeness with Delhi and Gurgaon. Still, it is very considered very backward. So when we got opportunity there to work in education, so we started going, and when we were working there, we went into village and we found that it was so dirty that we were not able to walk properly. So that led to other
Mm-hmm.
thing, that if you want to work in this area, this is the first thing need to be dealt with.
You
That
need to do it.
that is the road in the all the gullies and all those things and should be clean enough to work with. So
Mm-hmm.
we started a project. We worked with. We actually hired some people for the cleaning. We worked with,
Okay.
initially tried to work with local cleaners, but it didn't work out. So
You
we hired some
collaborated
people.
with some external agency with government, or you guys took charge of this thing all by
Uh, we,
yourself?
we took charge by ourselves. So normally our working style is like a startup. We have an
Mm-hmm.
idea, we will work on a prototype, we will present to you. If you like the idea, please collaborate with us. Otherwise, we will try to keep it going till we can run the prototype or the in the model. So the same thing we started in a village in Mewat called Khedla. And when we went there, we hired some people, and soon that village started looking transformed. So whole thing was on the cleanliness, garbage management. We started on we segregation of the waste and then converting it into a compost and everything. With
Okay.
we started this, and after seeing our effort, even Pranab Mukherjee Foundation, they also collaborated with us. They gave us
Mm-hmm.
e-garbage collection rickshaw, e-rickshaw for garbage collection. I think that is
That's
the only
fantastic, Divya.
that is the only village in Mewat who has that e-rickshaw, where all the households are being covered. And for last more than 2 years now, that project is going on. Gartner, as a partner, is partly funding that project.
Okay.
The salary of
And
those
till date,
cleaners.
you guys are involved in that project? till date you guys are, continuing in
Yes,
that particular project?
we are continuing. Yes, so we extended that the similar same approach into some nearby villages. So right now there are three villages where we are working in this, and so it's always been one project to another. There was no 5-year roadmap in the beginning when we 2015 started. We never knew that the 4 kids we started teaching at home will convert into a
Do an end.
500. Yeah, so for a 500 students at any given time, and then connecting to thousands of students through smart classes, or the run a project which will benefit, which will benefit thousands of students into 4 states, 3 states. So we never anticipated that, but we knew that okay, these are few basic things, and if we really want to change something, we have to do the work on ground rather than just doing sitting in our drawing rooms and cribbing about that okay, nothing is changing.
Absolutely.
So that's how this whole in the and the other thing is which we are working in the village is the smart class project. So a
Mm-hmm.
smart class is a cheaper alternate to our digital classroom which we see, like we talk about the smart boards and all things. So as a it is
Like
not
the way we
feasible to.
have it in the other schools, like, the private schools, the mainstream schools, like the way
Yeah,
we have those smart boards there. So are
yeah,
we talking
yeah.
about
So
that
that
as a part of the smart
uh,
class?
it's a kind of cheaper alternative. So thanks
Okay.
to rise in Android platform and TV available everywhere, smart TV is getting very cheaper and available everywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
thanks to connectivity, what we did, we created a YouTube channel where we curated content from class 1 to class 12 subject wise, and with the smart TV connected to that internet, we started giving
Mm-hmm.
that content. We enabled a mechanism so that the students in even the remote villages, with the help of teacher, can access this content, because many times even they can access the content when teachers are not available.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, when you work in these villages, very less incentive is there for kids to attend the government school. They just
Correct.
come for majority of the time they come for midday meal. So
And there
even
is a
though
lot of
they just.
absenteeism even on the teachers' part as well, right? The teachers are
Yeah,
also not that much involved. Like, the way passionately you guys are contributing, I can say that in government schools, the absenteeism rate, not just from the students' perspective, but also from the teachers' perspective, is high.
yeah. So it has become a route cycle actually. So somebody has to break the cycle, and I believe that teachers have more responsibility to break the cycle, because when you go into interiors and when you talk to teachers, teachers say that students don't come, students say that teachers don't teach. So it's a kind of a cycle, and somebody has to break it. And with these tools, we are trying to incentivize students as well as teachers, because for teachers it's an additional tool. There are teachers who are quite passionate.
Mm-hmm.
We have performance records before this COVID, and we are running this project for almost a year now. So
Mm-hmm.
and they have showed continuously uptick in the uses of TVs and the content from the YouTube and the quality content, and helping those kids in getting understood. And even in some of the schools, in majority of the school, not some of the schools, I have testimonials. The attendance also increased drastically. Earlier,
Right.
the major attraction for kids were come for midday meal and then disappear. And what
Mm-hmm.
teachers did, the class timing in in the classroom with the TV after their midday meal. So now kids are staying till the school is closing. So it's a kind of a win-win for both.
Win-win situation for both the
Yeah.
teachers and students. So a
So soon,
monologue converting into some kind of AV representation by using that smart TV, so probably is an incentive for the kids. They
yes,
seem to be
and
more engaged, in terms of
yes.
attending the classes.
Yes. And soon this project, I think all the infrastructure in place, soon this project will be in 180 plus schools across Gurgaon, Mewat, Bhopal, MP and UP. We are in discussion with some other partners also to get this extended further. So right now, before this COVID thing happened, the plan were to start in March 108 new schools, which were supported by government of local administration of Mewat, alongside with the company who sponsored this whole infrastructure. And so I think that gradually things will then will come on track. We will be
Right.
seeing a lot of traction in digital education front, and things will be expedited pretty fast.
Correct. And I also read that for around 48 government schools, you guys have already,
Yes.
completed this particular project of
Yes.
installation of the smart boards. So,
Yes. Right now it is in 53 schools, 53 such schools now in
okay.
total.
So that is across the different, places around Gurgaon, you're saying, or probably in some other, state as well,
Uh,
apart from Haryana.
Yes, so we have these placed in MP. MP primarily there are three places: Bhopal, Jabalpur, and Sivni Malwa. So these three districts, Jhansi in UP, and in Haryana, Mewat and Gurgaon. So these are the five places where these installations are majorly in place, and
Mm-hmm.
classes.
And I'm sure that the response must have been, fabulous in terms of like the way we spoke. It's a win-win situation for the teachers and for the students.
Yes, it is. It is, and the response is pretty good. So acceptability. That's something that gradually the performance and the uses of that TV that increased, or this content increased dramatically. And there
Mhm.
are certain challenges for some teachers. It's a still new thing. Uh, but I would say that if we are hitting 95%, it is more than anyone can bargain for.
More than anyone. Absolutely.
Um,
And Divya,
yeah.
in a time like this, kind of we are forced to acclimatize ourselves in terms of using the digital tools. So once we
Yes.
are out of this, we will be more hands-on in using digital tools of communication, across sectors.
Yes, that's true. That's completely true. It is like you are learning swimming when you have been thrown into water rather than sitting at the
Correct.
shore, and then
Absolutely.
there is no other way. The people who have not, even senior citizens, they have not used video conferencing or other things. They are going on. The company people, they are using digital tools, collaboration tools. And I'm seeing it. Kids are very fast learners. I must say. After this, our conversation will be over. My class is waiting for me to send link for their assessment test.
Okay,
So
okay.
they,
So we'll just quickly go through two or three questions, which
yeah,
couple of people are asking. So one of the person is asking that do volunteers get certifications for the work they do? Any programs do you have for them? So do you have any programs for the volunteers? Any kind of certification?
yeah. So in normal scenario, we expect volunteers primarily to work with us to teach kids, and
Mhm.
on weekends or weekdays as per their availability of the time. And we do provide certificate. However, there are certain rules that volunteer need to complete 48 hours within 3 months of time to get a
Okay.
certificate. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, that answers the question, Divya. Thank you. We'll just take one last question. How can I join as a volunteer? Do we need experience for the same?
No, we do not need any experience. This is only the desire and your passion to do something good. If I would be putting that criteria, I wouldn't have started this whole thing by my own. If I would have
Correct.
been putting this experience criteria, I
A lot of
had
people
had.
are skeptical, they feel, okay, I don't have experience in the impact sector. Should I apply or not? Reject ho jayenge ya kya hoga? So a lot of people, they
Uh,
also have that thinking.
I would not say that they are wrong. Actually, people are their experiences, whatever they experience, have faced experience. Many people, we do not have such experience criteria. The only thing required is that your passion and commitment. That
They're
okay, if you
passionate
are
about that.
engaged to the work, you will see through that. If even if you are with us for, let's say, 3 months, but when you are working with us for 3 months, you will ensure that okay, somebody is getting positively impacted. You may be just scouting that you, many times people do not know whether they like education, whether they like working in the villages or working in the slums.
Correct.
So
It's
many
in
times
the
people
process,
are,
that they
yeah.
understand. that they are actually empathetic towards that particular thing, and yes, they can make a career, or probably they can move ahead in that particular thing.
Yeah.
So I believe for other details, yeah.
Now, I would like to just add one thing, that one thing which we donate an hour or any other organization. So donate an hour is literally not an hour. It's just accumulation of your accumulation of hours from your daily life where you want to impact the world in a positive way. And similarly, if you really want to bring any positive change, it is not 1 or 2 or 3 hours going to make a difference. So you start giving a positive thought about all this journey when you are thinking about it, that okay, if you would be getting engaged yourself in, it's a kind of a, when you start thinking, it comes into reality, right? So in the similar way that if somebody is thinking about it for volunteering or impact sector, I would say give a
Just
try,
go for it.
and yes, go for it.
Absolutely. So for other details, can be seen on your website, www.donateanhour.org. So if people would like to join as a volunteer or they want to donate, they can visit on this website. And for a glimpse of the interview, guys, you can see it on www.ngostories.in. Divya, thank you so much for joining us. All the best, and kudos to the job you and Meenakshi are doing. So thank you so much, for joining us.
Thanks
at
for
NGO
inviting. Thanks for inviting.
Thank you, Divya. Bye-bye.
Bye.